Welcome back to Real Talk with Flying Dragonite. Now today's video might seem a little jump cutty at the beginning because I cut this video into two sections. But today we're going to be talking about YouTube copyright problems and demonetization, and the second, Adpocalypse. So we're going to be starting off with the YouTube copyright problems and demonetization. So without further ado, let's start the video. The YouTube copyright problems and the demonetization problems that have been going on lately on YouTube. Uh, it's not affecting me, thankfully, but it's affecting a lot of people. Like, a lot of small YouTubers, and some big YouTubers. I think, was Mr. Beast the first one to like really bring it around, because he got copyright claimed for what was it, singing the first couple lines of Living on a Prayer, and some person claimed it for uh, for um, for 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 living on, and that was uh, in his, some music person claimed those two words because those were in one of his original songs. This is ridiculous. The copyright system is so jank on YouTube. Like, and I know they rolled out a new copyright system on February 25th, and or a new not a new copyright system, but a new community guidelines system where you get like a warning instead of like a strike right away, and like stuff like that. But like the copyright takedown notices are still, like the copyright takedown are still like if they get a copyright takedown from like a company, they still have to copyright strike you right away and take down your video. But like, I don't know if like, but it's still, it's from the video that I watched, it doesn't seem like they fixed everything, because it's still the problem of what do you do if the copyright claim is false from a big company, and YouTube, like, disagrees with you, but it's false, and it is false, and like, or like, because like, okay, so using MatPat as an example, he talked about this on a recent live stream. He talked about some of his copyright strikes that he's received on some of his game theory, on some of his game theory videos, and so one of his copyright strikes was on a SpongeBob video he did, on film theory, and he did a parody, and parodies are allowed under fair use of copyright. I know this. I've looked up the laws under, I have looked up the laws under music and lyrics because I wanted to know if I was allowed to sing songs on my YouTube channel. And I wanted to know like the rules on what you're allowed to do on like what you're allowed to do like with covers and stuff. And so I know the laws on what's fair use and what's not. And you are allowed to do parodies like it is best to get permission, but like certain if you're gonna do a lot of parodies, like and you make money off of parodies, I think you have to get like permission to do them. Like Weird Al does parodies and he makes money off of them, so he usually gets permission to do these, so he doesn't have to fight legal battles. But other than that, it's legally permissible to do parodies because you're not using the actual lyrics. Anyway, so he did a parody off the SpongeBob theme song, and he did "Are you ready, kids?" in a pirate tone of voice, and then the rest of the song is completely original. And you can't claim "Are you ready, kids?" in a pirate tone of voice. Like, that's not claimable. Like, especially when the rest of the song isn't at all the same. Like, that's not claimable. That's not copyright, but they still claimed it as the SpongeBob song. And he was he didn't fight the claim because he was afraid that if he did, they would copy strike his channel. Because the way that copy strikes work on YouTube is that if you're notified if your content is copyright is violating copyright, and so you're demonetized. And if you decide to fight the claim and you lose, you get a copyright strike against your channel. So he was afraid to fight the claim when 99% of the time YouTube goes with the big companies instead of with the YouTubers in these cases. And that just makes me mad. Like, they don't look at these things objectively because the big companies are what are giving them ads. They don't, which I suppose I can understand that they want to keep the big companies happy and they want to keep them on their site. But they gotta realize, YouTube has to realize that these big companies are not going to walk away from YouTube. They pretty much have to stay on YouTube if they want to stay relevant with the majority of the younger population, because that's where the majority of the younger population gets their news, gets their entertainment, that's where the majority of the younger population gets everything. The majority of the younger population has everything on YouTube. They don't watch TV. They watch TV, but rarely do they watch. I don't watch TV at all. Like, rarely do I watch TV, and if I do, it's like 10-15 minutes of NCIS on USA, or 10-15 minutes of Law and Order SVU, and that's pretty much it. I don't watch the news. I get my news from watching Pew News. That's where I get my news. That's where I get my news, really. That is where I get my news. Or, other, like Matt Pat, that's where I get my news. He talks about relevant topics sometimes, on GT Live and on game theory and film theory. He talks about, relevant topics, and those are where I get my news. And Markiplier talks about relevant topics, and Jacksepticeye talks about relevant topics. Those are where I get my news. I don't watch the news on television. And I'm, 22? Gonna turn 23, and, so, and, even, and, everyone younger than me, people my age and people younger than me, pretty much everyone, all watch YouTube. And they have to realize that this generation, and my generation, and the generation younger than me, and the generation after that, are all going to stay on YouTube, because YouTube is the thing. And YouTube knows that, and I don't understand why they don't realize that the big companies are not going to walk away from YouTube. Or if they threaten, they're like the whole Adpocalypse thing, this second Adpocalypse thing, which we're going to talk about next. Those companies aren't going to walk away for long. They're going to come back, and they threaten to go away, and they're like, these companies know they can't walk away from YouTube for long. They know that they need YouTube. They need their ads on YouTube. They're all about making money. They know that they can't just stop putting their ads on YouTube. How else are they going to get our generation hyped for their next new thing? Even if they'll make money if they don't put their stuff on YouTube. Obviously they still will, but they won't get the same buzz. They won't get the same hype. They won't get the same generation of money, necessarily. The same generation of goods that they would if they had their ads on YouTube. When most of the when most of the younger population gets all of their content from YouTube. So YouTube should realize that they need to keep their creators happy, because their creators are who are going to sponsor these ads, who are going to recommend these products to their to their subscribers, to their you know, like, and I mean, they need to realize that that us content creators have all the power over the YouTube, really, because it's us that people subscribe to. It's not the ads that they go for. It's not the big companies that people are subscribing to. It's not the ads that people are subscribing to. It's the content creators that people are subscribing to. And if the content creators really felt like it, they could leave YouTube and go to a different platform, and you know, and all of their subscribers would follow them. And they could leave YouTube in the dust, and if they really wanted to, and their subscribers would follow them, and YouTube would be left with no one. And it's not going to happen, but if if someone like PewDiePie decided to leave YouTube, you know, if someone like PewDiePie and Markiplier and Jacksepticeye decided to all leave YouTube, how many people would follow them and stop watching YouTube? You know, like, because they're, if they decided to, you know, make their own website for videos and say, hey, we're leaving YouTube and we're gonna make our own website for videos where we can do our own thing, and you know, like, I'm just putting it out there that YouTube needs to realize that that could easily happen. And not that it's going to happen, because it's not going to happen, but it could happen if they felt like it. And people would follow them. I would follow them, because they're my heroes, you know? People would follow them. People would follow them anywhere. They're great people. So YouTube should, you know, focus more on the creators than on the big companies, because it's the content creators that made YouTube what it is, not the big companies. The content creators discovered YouTube, made YouTube popular. The big companies only came to YouTube after YouTube became a great thing. After YouTube became this awesome thing. And YouTube seems to forget its roots. They seem to forget that they're only here because of us. Not necessarily because of me, but because of content creators. So they should take care of content creators more than they take care of big companies. So moving on to the Adpocalypse, this is on the same vein. So the entire, if you don't know what's going on with the whole Adpocalypse thing, it all started with a series of videos. So it all started with a series of videos that were there were a series of videos shown by this guy. God, I forget his name. It was there was just this jerk. Basically, I mean, not a jerk, but like, it was this guy who just wanted to see everything burn on YouTube. Basically, he just he went down a rabbit hole on YouTube, and when you go into rabbit holes, you're gonna find things that you don't want to see. And so I'll admit, these things are bad. Like, it's bad that this stuff happened. Like, that this stuff was, like, I'll agree with him that this stuff is awful. Like, this stuff should not be on YouTube, but he blew it way out of proportion. Like, okay, so I'll stop beating around the bush. This guy, he found a lot of videos of young girls, young kids doing like gymnastics or like doing like exercises and like playing around and like doing like stretches and gymnastics and like things like that. And in the comment sections, there were like timestamps and like comments and stuff leading people to certain times where there would be certain poses that would lead to like certain, well, that would be suggestible. And this is awful. And the thing is you have to realize that the more you click on one video, the way the YouTube algorithm works is the more you click on a certain kind of video, the more it gets the more it gets recommended to you. So the more you click on this kind of video, the more it pops up, the more and more and more it pops up. And so it really sucks, but so these kind of videos are being served up to, well, pedophiles, and it's very bad. And I will agree with him that this is horrible. That YouTube, that the fact that YouTube allowed this to happen it's disturbing. It's awful. But what you have to realize is it's not indicative of what YouTube serves as a whole. It's like a 1%, less than 1% of what YouTube tends to serve as a whole. It's like, it's not, YouTube has so many videos uploaded a day, and that, and I mean, I'm betting that a lot of those videos weren't uploaded with the intent to serve pedophiles, for one thing. I'm guessing a lot of them were innocent videos of their kids doing cute gymnastics for the enjoyment of their parents, and it was just that pedophiles found these and were like, hey, look at this, to other pedophiles, and it's just unfortunate that this happened, and this guy that found this, he started a campaign on Twitter to tell YouTube sponsors to pull back from YouTube, which I think is going a bit far, because I don't, like, I can understand why he was appalled by this, happening. Like, I am appalled. This is obviously awful. The fact that this is happening, that this happened, is awful. YouTube should have been monitoring these comments more closely. Like, that YouTube doesn't monitor comments like this, that is disturbing to me. That YouTube doesn't monitor comments is that disturbs me. But I mean, I guess it's hard to monitor everybody's comments, like, on thousands of videos, but, like, I don't know, it's just, I guess that's why they started disabling comments on kids' videos, until they have a way to monitor comments on videos, which is why I think what they did to start disabling comments on all kids related videos as a short-term solution, that's why I'm not really, like, I understand why they did it, even if the way they did it isn't necessarily the best way to go about it. But back to what I was saying about his campaign to ruin YouTube's sponsorships, is just, I don't understand what the point of that was. Like, I guess it's like too late. Like, too little too late. Like, for one, that doesn't stop the pedophiles from doing this. It doesn't affect the pedophiles at all. It affects YouTube, and punishing YouTube isn't going to stop the pedophiles from doing this. punishing YouTube only makes them freak out and makes them do rash decisions like disabling all comments on all kids' videos to hurriedly get all their ad revenues back. And again, the way they did that wasn't exactly the best way to do that. They just kind of tried to slap on a short-term solution to get all their sponsors back because they're freaking out. And like it just it's a difficult situation. And going back to what I said before, those companies that pulled back from ads that pulled their ads from YouTube, one, they aren't doing it because of ethical reasons. They're doing it for money reasons. And two, they know they can't pull back for long. They need YouTube ads. And they're going to come back. They just want cheaper rates. So that's why they pull back. And they cover it with the fact that they're doing it for ethical reasons. But all they want is to line their pockets with more money. And it's just sad to see, it's just big company bullshit. I mean, it's just big corporation bullshit. It just sickens me. It's just if you keep giving trolls and attention seekers what they want, the attention, then they're just going to keep doing it. They're just going to keep trolling, and they're just going to keep doing things to get attention. So, this just encourages people to do more things like this, to pull more shit. And it just, ooh, let's do something to make the YouTube wheels spin around. Let's see what next can we do to make people freak out, to make people panic. It just pisses me off, honestly. Here I am talking about it, so I guess it worked. Maybe the best solution is to ignore them. But I feel I had something to say about this, so. But I'm not going to ignore the situation because the situation is important to talk about. So, anyway, I think that was all the topics I had lined up for today. If you liked it, remember to like and comment down below. And if you like my content, remember to subscribe and ring that bell to be notified of when new videos come out. This is Flying Dragonite, out.